Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. My name is Greg, and today, I just can't do it.
That was the Matt Porter impersonation?
It was. Sorry, Matt, if that is your real name.
All right, take it away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. My name is Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, let's do a list.
All right, so
What do you have in mind?
here's what we're doing. We're going to do Matt friggin' Porter's list. Matt Porter of ADHD Whiskey. If you don't know who that is, and if you're not watching his channel, do yourself a favor and check it out. Recently updated a list that came out a while ago on Reddit. So it started out, this list came out on Reddit. Somebody said...
The only 5 bourbons you need.
Yes, you need 5 bourbons at any given time. Yeah. And then there was a category, 5 different categories, and you just pick whichever. Right, it was whiskeys in general, I think. So then Matt came out and updated his list, or updated that list with his own picks of, categories and stuff like that. And at the end of his video, he called out a bunch of bourbon channels. Did not call out our channel.
Thanks a lot.
2 main reasons. A, our channel did not exist when he made his video.
Can't even plan for the future.
Right. And even if it did, I don't think at this point he probably would know what our channel is.
But soon.
But yeah, so we're just gonna jump in and do the list anyway, because I've watched a bunch of different channels do it, and it's just kind of fun.
It is.
So I thought it'd be fun for 2 of us to do it. So 5 different categories. Now I don't know what Greg's list is, and he doesn't know what mine is.
Correct.
Just to make it a little more fun. So what's the first category here?
So whiskey number 1. And I'm mostly picking bourbons. I think they're all bourbons. They may not be bourbons. We'll see.
All right.
The only whiskey you need to get the night started. Now, I have to admit, I was unaware that I actually had to manually do something in order to get the night started.
Well, I think he referred to it as the entry buzz whiskey.
I don't know what that
the one
means.
to give you a little kick to get the night going.
So the way I interpreted that is I like to drink whiskey, bourbon. And I like to start with a known good bourbon that sometimes you're just not in the mood or your taste buds aren't right or whatever. So pick something that's really common, really basic that you know well. That way maybe you don't drink because it just tastes weird or whatever.
Right. So you're starting the night off with something you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus just starting it off with a powerhouse that's going to give you a buzz right off the bat.
And is it a bad bottle or are you just not in the mood? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So something like a Maker's Mark or something that's easygoing. And so my first one, where is it? If I were a bourbon.
Oh, wow.
Evan Williams, 1783.
So you went low proof for the entry buzz.
Okay. I always think low at the beginning of the night and you build up, but I don't know.
I kind of do the opposite because I find if I hit the higher proof stuff at the end of the night, it's lights out pretty quick.
So this is a tiny pour. This is just to get your taste buds wet, to really make sure that you're kind of just to, set the palate so that if you're going to do some reviews or so on. So this is a tiny pour just to get going.
That's a great point because I think that these categories are kind of open to interpretation.
Yeah.
So the one I picked is I went high proof for the entry buzz.
You were thinking.
Kick a Friday night off and I want to get into it as quickly as I can with one that I really, really like. I'm going 1792 full proof.
Well, that's a home run for your first swing.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's 125 proof. It's delicious.
It is.
Wonderful. It's one of those ones that I would like to drink all evening long, but at 125 proof, that's a short evening.
See, that's why I didn't pick something like that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I said it's kind of cool. It's open to interpretation.
Sure.
So these are 2, definitely good picks for that.
Yeah.
So. All right, category number 2.
No joke. Category number 2 is current favorite. And I have to admit, since the time I typed up my list, and now it's changed.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have that bourbon available, so we're going to go with what's on the list.
Okay.
So what did I even put?
So you can throw an honorable mention on this for which one you would have picked if you had it on the show.
Funny.
Good one.
This is Henry McKenna, 10-year, bottled in bond, and it is just a tremendous bourbon. We love
really
it.
is.
We reviewed it and absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
It's one I had sitting on the shelf. I hadn't touched in a while, and I've touched it a couple times recently. So,
yeah, that's a solid go-to anytime.
It
that
is.
one just never. I mean, as a single barrel, you know, there's going to be some variation, but I've never been let down by one. So yeah, great pick. All right, current favorite. Bam. So I think I'm overlapping with Matt's list a little on this one because I believe for his current favorite, he also had a Knob Creek store pick.
Was it a store pick? He had a Knob Creek, but I don't remember which one he did.
I think so. So this is Knob Creek store pick, but I'm really kind of just representing Knob Creek single barrels in general. Are kind of my favorite right now. This one you'll notice is not open. It is a store pick. I had 2 of this exact same bottle. This is one of those 14-year and some change ones that I managed to get a hold of.
Right.
And it's outstanding.
It is.
But yeah, just Knob Creek single barrel, even the non-store pick single barrel that's like $40 at Total Wine.
Yep.
Awesome. I'm just super into these lately just because, well, these two in general, honestly, these two could be interchangeable for me, for these first 2 categories.
Yep.
In a world of allocated bourbons and people hunting and paying ridiculous prices for allocated stuff, people walk by these all
Every
the time,
day.
and they're outstanding. So, yeah. If you've never had either one of these for some odd reason, go get you some.
I would agree. Those are great picks. Next up is the unheard of or little known. And there's probably a lot of things that could be on this list as like unheard of. You know, regionally, some things are available, some things are not. Some things I can't find. But I'm going to go with another square bottle.
Oh, nice.
This is the Knob Creek
I've never had that.
Quarter Oak. So here's what they do. Knob Creek, in all of their genius, take some of the same bourbon that's in that. They put it in little casks, 13-gallon barrels as opposed to the big ones. They age it for a minimum of 4 years. Then they mix that bourbon with their regular bourbon, and they create these quarters.
So the quarter cask being giving more surface area to the barrel to expose the bourbon to
probably the temperature affects it, and so it just comes out tasting a bit different.
I've never had that one before.
So feel free. In fact, I don't know why I am not.
Let's have a pour of that.
Let's do it.
What's the proof on that, 100?
Survey says 100.
All right. 2 Knob Creek products on here. You know what that is? Because Knob Creek is obviously, again, open to interpretation. Knob Creek's a hugely known brand, but probably not a lot of people know about the kind of side projects they do like
limited release kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I have to take a little break from the list here to do a... Oh, God, that smells delicious. Knob Creek just has that great oak and vanilla note. I get that on all of them, especially this one is just oak and vanilla through and through.
Lots of brown sugar and caramel.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That punch is way above 100 proof.
Wow is right.
Yeah. That tastes like I would have mistaken that for one of their single barrels at 120 almost.
Right, yeah. I agree. I get real strong cotton candy notes on this. There's a lot of sweetness in this. In a good way.
I have to ask, pink or blue?
Oh, it's definitely blue.
Blue this time, all right. Anytime you say the cotton candy note, I have to...
Sometimes it's pink, you're right.
Yep.
They do taste different.
I think you lean pink on the cotton candy.
Usually, the bourbon's the bourbon. You just got to go where it leads you.
Yep. All right, so for my lesser known, I'm going with this bad boy right here. Delicious. Massive Family Reserve. So this one is a whiskey.
A story.
Yep. So we actually, in a couple videos ago at this point, I believe, when this comes out, did a review of this, so go check that out if you fancy. So this is a blend of bourbon, rye, and light whiskey. To really put it in a short description. 107 proof. It's from a distillery in Iowa. It's gaining some popularity on the internet, I'm finding. I think there's probably still a decent amount of people that either have never heard of it or maybe have seen it and just have walked past it because something they've never heard of. And, it's not a flashy, fancy bottle.
It's nice looking.
But it's really, really an interesting whiskey, for sure.
Awesome.
It's definitely something if you've got a friend who's a whiskey connoisseur, a bourbon enthusiast, or rye or light whiskey enthusiast. If they've never had it, this is a good one to break out because it's really unique and it's really good.
It has lots of bourbon notes. It's similar to a bourbon. But then there's some things that are unique as well.
Yeah.
And so really for the geek, you'll really enjoy.
It's really rye forward as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's a good one. All right, so the next one is this the Impress Your Friends? Okay.
The whiskey to make your friends jealous.
Okay.
Is how it's labeled.
So this one I think could really be interpreted a couple of different ways. Because, you could go with like a Van Winkle or,
You're making me feel bad.
Stag Junior or something. Or you go with something that maybe just is regionally difficult to find.
Yeah.
Or, there's so many ways you could interpret this one. Super expensive, make your friends jealous because they can't afford the, $2,000 for the Woodford Baccarat or Baccarat or whatever it is. Or yeah, you just get something where it's like, hey, bet you don't have this one. But it may not be all that fancy. So, all right, I'm really excited to see.
Well, now that you set me up for failure.
Well, come on, make me jealous here. Let's go.
No, it's not a Woodford. Woodford's great, but yeah, I did. I went antique collection. I apologize. But
hey, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
2019, George.
Well, I poured from your group too soon.
Grab a glass.
No, there's like I said, this is totally. That's why I said it's open to interpretation. It's like which venue do you want to go? Because I was tempted to pick the Rip Van Winkle out of mine.
So I will touch on the point you're making, though. We've talked a couple of times about some whiskeys are just overpriced. They're good, but they're not worth the obscene price that some people are charging and some people are paying.
Yeah.
And there are everything else on my list and everything on your list. Absolutely great bourbons, absolutely great whiskeys that people are passing by that they don't need to hunt for the stuff that's allocated or hard to find. Mm-hmm. In some ways, I was almost disappointed with this because it is that good.
Yeah,
it's worth hunting for. It'd be nice to say, it wasn't worth the. I didn't pay that much for it.
And then you can just rest easy that you no longer have to bother looking for it anymore.
Exactly. It actually was worth hunting for.
Yeah. I had the same thing with the Stag Junior up there. It's outstanding. At least this is batch 15 that I have, and that's one of those ones that I'm purposely drinking slowly because I never want it to go away because I know once it does.
And you probably won't get.
Yeah.
You have to get really lucky to see it again.
All right, so that's a great pick.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I was torn. Like, do I go for a top shelf one? I did not. So I went with this one. This one's probably going to maybe come off a little bit weird at first, but we're in the same family.
I think I know.
I'm going Benchmark Foolproof.
That's awesome.
So
because maybe I'm the only person in the world that doesn't know what it is, but I'm guessing there's some people that don't know what Benchmark is. Then secondly, they don't know Benchmark has more than one.
And even if they do,
varietal.
These are only available in Indiana,
which is it's probably a lovely state. Hi, Indianans.
Right, but so here's the thing: this is a $25, 125 proof Buffalo Trace mash bill 1. So same mash bill here, but obviously this is in the budget category. But this is super allocated if you think about it. It's just that nobody cares. Right?
And it is actually kind of an interesting one. We did the flight because they actually make 5. Is it 5 different ones?
5 of these.
They have a bottle and bond.
Like
the whole single barrel.
So if we were sitting around with the neighborhood, our neighborhood has a serious bourbon problem.
This would not surprise them. This would be the conversation piece.
Yeah, exactly.
You're totally right.
Everybody's pulling out some sort of all right, let's bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
Drop this, and it's like, I bet you none of you have this.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yeah, I think this is a good one for that category, for sure.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Okay, so the last category. This is a weird category.
This is a weird category. But before we touch on number 5, let us know what you think. There's space in the comments below. Tell us what your top 5 are.
Sure.
We'll put the categories right below the video so that you can see the criteria.
Try to pass along Matt's list to maybe some people that watch us that haven't seen his.
So the official title of this category is the entertaining whiskey, the long pour, the pour from outer space whiskey. I don't do that. I'm not stable enough to be able to pour without spilling and stuff.
Right. I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not exactly sure how you go about picking this.
I think it's a show-off whiskey. So I just grabbed something that was good, and I have a few that are good. But
are you going to long pour it?
I'm gonna pour it. This is Old Forester, 1897, which is their bottled and bond.
Nice, that's a good one.
Bottled and bond for me is like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I really, really like
for like a
bottled
regular
bond.
drinker. If you don't want to go too high proof, and you want to have maybe one or two, that's a great proof point.
Exactly. And so Old Forester is a brand that I was not very fond of a couple years ago, and it's taken me some time to really appreciate what they're doing, and I sure do now.
Yeah.
So, yep. That's my list.
So, do you think you could long pour from that bottle? Like, is it shaped and aerodynamic and everything?
I don't even...
In good fashion for a long pour?
I'm reluctant to try.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm the long pour champion.
Oh, really?
I've been keeping this from Greg the entire time.
I did not know this.
So, my long pour bottle...
I look forward to...
I'm going Johnny Drum.
A Willet. Isn't that a Willet product?
It is. So you've got a nice grip right here.
Okay.
Aerodynamic. And the plus side is I don't really like this bourbon. So if I do spill...
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there because I had the thought...
Oh, it's a screw up.
It's a screw top.
Not even looking. Long pour.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. That's amazing.
I got some in there.
No, I don't think you did. That's Knob Creek.
Oh, no, that's Johnny Drum. So, yeah, that's my long pour bottle. Long pour champion, as you can see.
That's right.
So, yeah, I went with, I don't care if I lose some of this to the bar top.
I had the thought that that's what I should pick, but I'm not a long pour guy. I'm not really an entertainment guy. I just pour a flight, have a drink a flight.
All right. Okay, so this is our list.
This is our list, and
of Matt's list.
And I had the thought, you know what? I just don't like to follow rules.
Not going to long pour anything.
Not going to long pour. Not going to get the night started because it'll get itself started whether I'm participating or not.
No, actually, I like your interpretation of that one. And that's the way I said 3 times in this video now or whatever. Open to interpretation in each category. Yep. That's what's so fun about seeing everybody else do their list. Because I've seen some other people start out with some not super high proof ones.
Yeah. And in my spirit of not following the rules, this list is incomplete. There is a number 6 on the top 5 whiskeys you need to own.
Okay, we're going to add one to the list. Now, if anybody watches this and wants to do their own, don't have to do ours one, just do Matt's, but we just thought it'd be fun. Well, Greg did. He told me about this literally 2 minutes before we started taping this, so I had to come up with one on the spot.
Yeah. Nobody knows what taping is.
Yeah, I mean, I always say taping. Old school. All right, so what's the Bourbon Note bonus category?
The Bourbon Note bonus category is the whiskey, the bourbon that everybody's wrong about. They've done their review. They said it was crap, or they said it was great. Either one, or whatever.
Or it's like a general consensus that you keep hearing, like everybody loves this, and then you had it, and it's
or
just
they
like
hate it,
or everybody hates it.
Yeah, and in my case, I've seen a lot of reviews that said this is not the greatest bourbon that's ever come out. It is a bottle and bond.
So are you saying it is the greatest bourbon that's ever come out?
I would say it really connects with me, and I think that's the other thing is everybody's unique. Your taste profile is unique. And
that's what's fun about.
There are bourbons that just don't connect with me. There are bourbons that connect with me very well.
I bet that one does.
But so does this one, and I acknowledge that it's not super popular, but I'm going to go there anyway. This is Old Tub.
I love Old Tub.
I absolutely feel this is like crafted for my tongue.
Yeah. You know what's funny is we're doing Matt's list, and I actually specifically remember I think he did a review of this and was not a fan of it.
He was enthusiastically opposed to it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but see, that's what's fun.
Yeah.
That's what's so fun about, that's why I like watching other people's reviews. Like, okay, that's their opinion. Let's see what I like about it or dislike about it or whatever. So yeah, that's a great one because I feel like that one, we did a review of this, one of the earlier ones.
But it was a long time ago.
And I think I had said in that one that this one was kind of divisive.
Yep, I totally agree.
People either loved it or hated it. Mm-hmm. And so you think people that hate it are dead wrong?
No, I think I love it.
Yeah.
And that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like it, don't like it. But
so
this leaves more on the shelf for me at $21.
Yep, exactly. So the one that came to mind for me when you said that category, and I haven't had time to think of it, but I think this is what I would go with.
So I have a guess where you're going to go with this, but...
Yeah, I think you know. So it kind of falls in the same thing because I've seen a lot of people who love it and a lot of people who just trash it.
Yep.
You know? And I was actually joking around saying to my wife the other day, I was like, you know, being into whiskey and bourbon, the last thing you want to be is a whiskey snob. You know, whether it's being a snob about, oh, you're not drinking the expensive stuff, or, you're, you know, whatever. You can see from our list, we like all different kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter what the price is, doesn't matter. And whatever whiskey you like, that's great.
Yep. But
I struggle, I gotta tell you, I kind of struggle with people who don't like mellow corn. I absolutely love mellow corn. This is a $15 bottle, bottled in bond corn whiskey. Now, of course, when I say I struggle with people that don't like it, I'm joking, obviously. If you don't like it, you don't like it totally.
He is a mellow corn pusher.
Yeah.
If you've not tried mellow corn, you will be at least encouraged.
If you mention in my house that you have not had mellow corn,
you're going to get a glass. Whiskey? You should probably explain what a corn whiskey is for the 7 million people in the world who are
going to watch this.
Yeah.
So corn whiskey it's kind of like a bourbon in the sense that it has rules about aging and rules about ingredients. It has to be 80% corn or more, or 81 more. And it has to be aged in, it's aged basically the opposite of a bourbon. So it's either in new uncharred casks or, absolutely, but I'm getting a different glass. I just poured Johnny Drummond, I'm not pouring steak. It has to be aged in either new uncharred or used charred casks. But anyway, so this is a Heaven Hill product. This is aged in used Heaven Hill casks.
Right.
It's delightful, super sweet. It's got some vanilla, some cinnamon. It's just, and it's got a great corn note, like a dry, dusty corn and kind of cornbread. It's just outstanding. So this is the one that, I hear a lot of people trashing it.
Do you think it's people who've never heard or never had it? Just like...
No, I've seen people do reviews, and honestly, for the most part, I think people kind of are surprised by it, that they like it.
Yeah.
But there are definitely, I've heard some trashing of it.
The snob.
Yeah, and it's just, people
I was
see
surprised.
This old school bottle.
It was shockingly good.
Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't had any mellow corn, get out there and get some of that as well. So, all right, do we have anything more to say about these?
These are awesome.
Yeah.
These are the 5 bourbons or whiskeys that you need at any one time.
Yep.
I would totally agree.
As told by us via Matt Porter, ADHD Whiskies list. So thanks for that video, Matt. I think the video is awesome and the list was fun to do.
Totally.
So, all right. Well, this has been the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Ding.